Greetings, programs. This is Wretch. Welcome back to Sherlock Holmes, Chapter 1. And in the last episode, guys, Sherlock got to explore Violet Holmes's collection of curiosities. And there we found, besides some awesome Easter egg references to the sinking city, another childhood memory that resurfaced. This time of Sherlock and John witnessing a very tense exchange between Mycroft and Dr. Richter, who was Violet's physician. And Mycroft accused Dr. Richter of some pretty scandalous stuff, being a charlatan, his treatments doing more harm than good, just some pretty damning stuff in regards to Dr. Richter. Now, we also saw some notes that kind of implied that one of these treatments of Dr. Richter's was actually making Violet relive some sort of trauma over and over again. And it's not really looking good for Dr. Richter, as far as I'm concerned, but I guess we'll see what happens as the storyline unfolds. Now, we are here at Stonewood Manor, and we were going to go ahead and do what was did in the shadows, guys, and we may still be able to do that, but I was looking down at Cordona's stories to the Tale of the Empty House, and we actually have some stuff completed here from all the furniture that we've bought. The main hall is apparently done, the yard, Violet's room, our room, and the Cabinet of Curiosities. And it says we're sure that with all the things in there, it'll prompt some memories, so I think we're going to explore the house a little bit more. Let's go ahead and pin the yard. And... oh, I actually didn't... hold on.
Oh, the best place for reading.
I'm not seeing anything. Let's check over here, and if we don't see anything, we'll head toward the shack, because I'm sure the oh.
Ah, yes. We were sword fighting in this very spot.
And that time, I was the winner.
So, as your victory prize, you asked me to fulfill a wish. I remember we did something the very next night, John, but what was it? We brought a cage with us. You insisted it must be made of iron.
That's because we were preparing to hunt fairies in our garden. Everyone knows iron is the only thing that can hold them.
And I was distinctly uncomfortable.
It was a disguise, of course. Fairies are easy to scare off, unless you're incognito.
And every trap needs bait.
What they get for bait, though.
We brought honey and a glass of warm milk.
After 2 hours lying in wait, we noticed movement in the bushes. The fairies appeared at last.
No, it was just Isolde the pig. She was lured by the smell of honey and milk, and ate every last drop. Isolde belonged to Mr. Sim in Miner's End and escaped regularly. At least twice a month we would see him searching for her all over the island.
I was about to say, I was like, we had a pet pig? One marvelous evening I defeated Sherry in a sword fight, a rare accomplishment. As my prize, I made him join me on a fairy hunt. Sherlock didn't share my enthusiasm as he pretends not to believe in fairies, but I knew exactly what to do. We disguised ourselves, found an iron cage big enough to capture a sprite, and laid out warm milk and honey as bait. And it worked! After 2 hours lying in wait, we spotted movement in the bushes, and the fairies had appeared at last. Or that's what I thought. Alas, it was just Isolde the pig who had caught a whiff of the milk and honey. She gobbled up every last drop, then fled as fast as she came. Isolde belonged to Mr. Sim in Miner's End, but she would always get free. At least twice a month we'd see him wandering Cordona to find her. She would turn up in impossible places, so perhaps in some way she was a little bit of magic too. When pigs fly. Okay, are we... is that the only thing, though? Are there more memories to hunt down? Maybe it's just one at a time.
Hey, is anybody at home? Hello?
You know nobody's home, John. We've been over this. Okay, we've got the statue here. I mean, one memory is good enough. But maybe we can find some more. Okay, let's head here to the shack. Oh, I think I am stuck behind some trees. Yes, I am. We have our elephant friend and... Nothing yet. Okay, well, let's go. I mean, we don't have anything over it, so that may be done. Let's try the main hall. We may not have everything done. I'm listening for that. Okay, we got that pinned, right? Now we do. Where is it?
We used to take a shortcut down the banisters, much to everyone's annoyance.
Oh yeah, what fun. They had to fix these handrails several times. I wouldn't try it now, Sherry. Tempting though it is.
I always wanted to do that after watching Alvin and the Chipmunks. Sherry and I used to ride down the staircase handrails in the main hall. It was the fastest way down, and the most fun. Mycroft hated it, but he couldn't stop us doing it. Carpenters had to repair the handrails several times. Just, you know, keeping the... Cabinet of Curiosities. I guess we can go check. Just keeping the jobs alive, you know?
Now it looks exactly like it was a decade ago. I can almost feel the memories hitting me.
The fort. But we already saw that one. Ah.
Oh, I remember now. I never liked the way the books were sorted on these shelves.
That you didn't. Your brother often struggled to find his reading materials after our visits.
Oh, I bet Mycroft found... Oh, that would have infuriated me. During our time at Stonewood Manor, Sherry and I would regularly visit the Cabinet of Curiosities. Sherlock was sometimes so bored that he'd rearrange all the books in his own particular order. He said it was easier to find the required book this way, but Mycroft never agreed. The last time that Mycroft was unable to find his desired reading material, I'm not sure what that word is, us for an hour and insisted we return the shelves to how they were. Tome travel. Cool. Now, it's been a while since we've actually gone into Violet's room. I'm trying to remember where it is. I think it was this one?
To be or not to be, that is the question, whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune.
Was it, or to take arms against a sea of sorrow? And by... I forgot the quote. Used to be able to say it.
I can sense an incoming memory, Sherry. Do you?
Let's see. Wait, wrong thing? Pin.
I was so frustrated to find only one bed in this room. Mycroft initially refused to bring another for you, but after a week-long dispute, he gave in.
What a stubborn man. How well do you think he would sleep without a bed?
Shortly after our arrival, Sherry clashed with Mycroft about the furniture. I needed a place to sleep, but there was only one bed in our room. Outrageous. Convincing his older brother was a challenge, but after a week-long dispute, he finally gave in. I became the proud owner of my very own bed. I have to say, though, that's actually pretty understanding of Mycroft to do that.
Sharp and well-balanced. It would be a pity to leave such a tool behind. Sharp and well-balanced. It would be a pity to leave such a tool behind.
I mean, we should, but okay. Anyway, looks nice. All well and restored. Nowhere else to go. But Violet's room, did we get all that cleaned up?
Oh, the room looks nice now. It's comforting to see the way it was meant to be.
The Tale of the Empty House achievement unlocked. It's definitely better. A pleasant memory?
My mother always preferred to spend her rare moments of lucidity with me.
That's true. She even stopped Mycroft from joining you. Remember?
I do. He didn't show it, but he was upset. I think Mother paid more attention to me because I was younger.
In her rare moments of lucidity, Sherlock's mother always wanted to spend time with him. One day she found us prepping for the play and she helped us apply the stage makeup in front of the mirror. Mycroft wanted to join us, but she refused. He didn't show it, but I know he was upset. Violet always paid more attention to Sherry because he was younger. Tale of the Empty House complete. Cool. Lots of memories. Some good, some bad. Kind of a weird melancholy to everything. Okay. Well, now that that has been taken care of, I guess it's time for what was did in the shadows. Who do we need to talk to? Near the cemetery. Which is where? I guess we need to go ahead and track that down. Pending further investigation. Well, I guess we can... The cemetery that we were at before. The Cordona Cemetery. Alrighty. Every time I walk out of this house or walk into it, I'm expecting like something to happen. Like one of Mycroft's agents or Vogel's messengers. It's a cool feeling though. Alright, back into the cemetery we go. And I guess we look for a crime scene. Oop. And here we go.
This place gives me the creeps. What if the vampire comes back?
Around an empty grave. This should be interesting.
The flowers are still fresh.
Oh, well, you know what? If we're going to be doing this, we gotta do this proper. Of what was done in the shadows. Alright. Now I feel better and more appropriate, despite the fact that the sun's out. I bet that burns a little. It's alright, we got that Fortitude 10 sunblock.
This is a somewhat neglected and dusty hat.
That does not narrow it down.
The stone is rather unwieldy, so it couldn't be used as a weapon. Someone fell and hit their head on it.
We're dealing with a very immoderate bloodsucker here.
We got the lantern here. I guess that's part of the crime scene. Got more stuff up here. And a tomb that's been unearthed.
Looks like a set of surgical instruments. One is missing.
A scalpel.
The label is illegible.
Bottle of clear liquid. Ah, chemistry times. And what are you? We've run out of fresh cadavers for dissection. You know what to do. Professor Shelley. Oh, it's a Flesh and the Fiend situation. That is actually one of my favorite Peter Cushing movies. It's about a doctor, I believe in Edinburgh, or I'm sorry if I butchered that, or in Edinburgh, who basically hires these two thugs to bring him corpses so he can actually experiment on to improve medical science. Thing about it is, though, they start getting overzealous and start making their own corpses. It's got Peter Cushing in it. It's a great black and white movie. I highly recommend it. So maybe it's not a vampire situation, but definitely a grave robbing situation. Let's go ahead and do some chemistry here. Oh, 6 and -10. Good lord. How are we going to pull that one off? Probably with the -5, which we only have one of. -2 and a 3. That's not going to work. I was wondering when this was going to happen. If we were going to start getting to the point that... Wait, what is that? Chemical operation. Oh, it multiplies. Okay. Cool. So there's that taken care of. And then by that rationale, we just go ahead and multiply the 3. So we got our -10, our 6, and let's see what we can do here. Maybe add 1 to it. We can subtract 1. That flip-flops. What does that one do again? Okay, 3. And then we'll change the acidity. -3, -10, and 6. And then we do all the combining. Like so. 6, -10, -3. Cool. It is formalin, which is used... Okay, it's formaldehyde, which is used for embalming corpses. We just have to talk with Professor Shelley here. Wow, this was a big crime scene. A lot of stuff going on.
Nicely roasted.
Delicious.
I wonder how even the most destitute always somehow manage to scrape together enough for a drink.
You know, the first time I ever went to a Chinese restaurant when I was a kid, my dad handed me one of the... I forgot what it is, but it's that really good chicken that's on the stick. But he was like, "You want some rat on a stick?" And I was stupid enough to believe him. And to this day, I still look at it and think, "Oh, rat on a stick. Tasty."
Psilocybin mushrooms. These are powerful hallucinogens.
Mushrooms! Okay, so we've got some psychedelics involved. There's a lot of crap that happened.
An expensive hat with a few grey hairs stuck to the brim. Someone tore their trousers here.
Looks like I'm not done yet. There's one more section. Now, let me run this by again. 2 men were found dead near an open grave at the cemetery. Both victims had bite marks. John Bowden, graveyard keeper. Sayed Hafez, assistant professor at Kadona Medical College. Suspects Hamil Arki, a tanner. Camille Arki, deceased, reportedly a vampire. Witnesses Leandro Barbary, reporter, and Joe, a vagrant. Okay, so let's look this over. Reporter's testimony. I've always had a nose for a good story. I was strolling about the cemetery when I saw him, the necromancer. I'm not joking. He raised a woman from the grave and ordered her to attack the 2 men who were close by. Then they both turned into bats and flew away. I was too scared to take photographs of them, but I photographed their victims. This will be a front pager. I was having my supper when Johnny came to dig another grave as usual. There was someone else with him too. I must have dozed off for a while, but when I woke up, everything was a blur. Howling, screaming, then flashes of lightning, but no thunder. Some devilry was at work. I came out to see what was happening, and there was this reporter, Leonard or something, or Leonard. He told me that a vampire had killed 2 people, mere yards from me. Boy, I'm lucky to be alive, so I bet he was under the influence of the psychedelics, so he wouldn't even know what was going on. Okay. Hamil Aki is the brother of recently deceased Camille. We tried to make him talk, but he's a hard nut to crack. His neighbor saw him leaving his house to put flowers on his sister's grave. They say he returned at dawn looking dirty and tired. Just in case, we also made him eat garlic. No reaction. John Bowden, 37 years old, graveyard keeper. Blunt force injury to the head, 2 puncture wounds to the neck. Cause of death, massive blood loss from the carotid artery. Victim 2, Saeed Hafez, 56-year-old assistant professor at Cordona Medical College. Slight cut to the leg, blunt force trauma to the head, 2 puncture wounds to the neck. Major vessels intact, blood loss minimal, cause of death, intracranial hemorrhage. This is going to be a fun one to...
The bleeding wasn't severe, there are just a few drops. The blade is bent from the impact.
Alright, we are here. I think it's all gonna... Let's have it all revolve around Joe the Vagrant. Let's see here. He was... Now remember, there were 2 people. Oh, there's a lot of different suspects here. Do we have any kind of, like, rundown on them? Puncture wounds on the neck. Vagrant supper of hallucinogenic mushrooms, a dry hat near a bloodstained stone. Expensive hat with a few gray hairs and a piece of torn fabric on a root. Okay. So we got Joe. Oh, we can't actually see anything here. Oh, no, I don't think that. I just think we definitely had some graveyard shenanigans happening here. Yeah, none of that. So we had this guy who had the embalming fluid. So was it... Let's see. Guy with the hat. Let's... This one could be rough, guys. No. No. Well, actually, maybe. Someone made the puncture wounds. The problem is, I'm not sure who's who. Yeah, we had the shovel. Okay, so we had the nice hat. And he was dragged over here. So whoever cracked him over the head with a shovel... Okay, so he's the reporter. Good. Good to know. Good to know. Guy came in with some flowers. So he works for the university. I would assume he came in and dropped the flowers. Okay. I think this is starting to come together in my head now. We just have to figure out who's who. So, this is the brother. The brother probably came in to put fresh flowers on his sister's grave and walked in on them doing the body. Ah, alright. So... the scalpels used to make the puncture marks. Okay, okay. So what happened here? Okay, vampire. That guy could be... I'd say that's the graveyard keeper. No. Maybe Joe cracked him in the head? Okay. Saeed, assistant professor, so he's the one who's sitting there with the kind of the bowler, or the hat, with the holding the formaldehyde. And the graveyard keeper... blunt force injury to the head, 2 puncture wounds on the neck. So this is our man, Captain Formaldehyde. He is very much dead. And then we have the cap. The cap was down here, right? Or no, the fashionable hat. Oh, that they're is that that's our boy the Vagrant. No, Vagrant isn't doing anything. I think he was just sitting there tripping. So that really leaves, if he's not then the reporter. You know what? That actually makes a lot of sense. Because the only one who really mentioned anything about vampires was him. So maybe he witnessed what happened and decided to, Okay, let's see here. We have him here. I bet he didn't actually do the murder, though. I'll bet you he showed up, saw what was going on with the grave robbing, okay? He grabbed a shovel and proceeded to unleash some vengeance upon the assistant professor here. The reporter shows up, and at that point, yeah, because both of them are very much dead. The reporter grabs the scalpel and makes the incisions to make it look like a vampire. Because there wasn't a whole lot of blood. Do we want to give this a try? Because I think that's it, was just these. Alright, I'm going to give it a try. Hey!
The deceased became furious when he caught the anatomist exhuming his sister's body. He killed him with a shovel. The graveyard keeper took to his heels, but didn't get far. He fell, hitting his head on a stone, which rendered him unconscious. With the murderer gone, the reporter who was hiding punctured the neck of the first victim to imitate a bite. But when he did the same to the second victim, he killed an unconscious man.
Oh, that's where that blood's from.
So we have 2 murders and 2 murderers, but no vampires.
Vampires are not so scary when you have grave robbers and journalists running around.
Okay, I didn't even think about that. So he cracked his head, and in making the punctures, he caused all the pain, huh? Okay, key evidence was collected, but not all evidence. Okay, let's see if we can get all the evidence here before we do anything else. You guys know how thorough I'd like to be.
This must be the vagrant shelter. Quite homely, if you don't mind sleeping next to the corpses.
Whatever works, I suppose. Hey! All evidence collected. Okay. I know we're running a little bit over, but we're going to hot rod back to the PD. And we're still going to be in our vampire gear just to see this through. Blah! And hopefully not get shot the second we walk in.
Constable Stark, do you believe in vampires?
Hey? What do vampires have to do with anything?
Oh, that's exactly what I thought while looking into the murders at the cemetery. The primary suspect is indeed the murderer, but he's not the only one. The reporter, who so easily fooled everyone with his vampire stories, killed the other victim.
But why would he do that?
He believed the unconscious man to be dead and decided to concoct a thrilling story for his readers.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Holmes. I'll have the conniving little scrub taken in immediately. There's only one case left. Don't let me stop you.
So one of the reasons I wanted to get the DLC is because I think we're starting to run out of cases, which makes me a sad panda. Alright guys, well, that was what bumps in the night. And I like that Joe was there just as a red herring, just to make you think that he was involved somehow, other than him just sitting there going on a magic carpet ride. But Sherlock will get out of these clothes, and I guess we will start another case in the next episode. Hope y'all have enjoyed it. If you liked the episode, please leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, that'd be a big help. I will see you next time. Later days, everyone. Blah!